rest, yeah. Let them bleed. What a mess, yeah. Hear the screams, but they will never get ya. 1, 2, 3, we the killing trifecta.
Basics and always make observations you really don't want to see when I'm totally concentrated. I unleash it like it's easy till they're leaking and spraying, and by the evening when they see us all these demons will fade out just like the dust. Now it's dusk, only follow ones I trust. When I take in every lesson I project it, it's a must. Never thought I'd be dependable, they had me at the cusp. Care for her more than myself, so she better not be touched. Got my lessons every step until I honed it. Look, I'm using all my senses as a weapon. I was chosen, I am not afraid of death. I'll take a breath, I'm feeling golden. Look, I've got nobody left because of them, and now I'm focused, now they're hopeless. I was always one to never give in, not even a shred. I have gone through loss that I couldn't go through again. I think we'll be alright if it's you and me in the end. Now it's all over if I ever see the thread.
We the team. Let them bleed. Hear the screams. 1, 2, 3. Killing.
What happened? Why are these demons scattered? Just woke up, but I'm feeling knackered. You could've defeated evil with so much precision, man. Whoever did this knew what they were doing. Hear me screaming as I'm running with my tail. Tucked between, I got no time, looking pale. Stand before a creature thinking I'm for sale. Forget to breathe, that pass at last I would inhale. Now I can take it from here. Now the sun's down, I'll be resupplying the fear. Got them questioning what happened to me. First I was afraid, now I come with a guarantee because I am never late. Got my head down, finger on the trigger, going solo. Countdown till my thunder strikes above your torso. Wake up, wait up, it happened again. Now put your hands together, say it with me, amen.
Y'all know me, I'm a king with these blades. Tanjiro with the do-rag, killing these waves. Beast boy breath, I be feeling these graves. Get low on foe while I'm grinning these fangs. I can feel you, and I will use anything in my vicinity to kill you. I'm a real one, I'm a real dude. Get bucked and I show you what the steel do. Real you, shred you to pieces. The beast is unleashed cause I kill without reason. The last thing you'll see is the sheen of serrated. Do blaze, I don't graze when I'm sheen cause you bleeding. This feeding my demons. A slayer who teamed up with players. I'll weed up this beat then delete you in neat little layers. Contortion is death, an unfortunate flex cause I'm boring your organs right out of your chest.
Good, it seems the political infrastructure is beginning to take notice to what I had warned them of. Hopefully it is in time before China gets pushed into being influenced towards World War III. It has become obvious to me that within the occult and religious institutions, both of the more well-known and remote beliefs, that there is an instigator within their presence whose goal seems to be to bring about the events that are said to lead to Armageddon beforehand, thinking that if they cause it prematurely then they could possibly avoid the entire event from occurring altogether. I have not traced yet whether this is a mortal-based operation or whether it is all being influenced by some radical religious foundation or whether it may be supernaturally based, which has recently become possible because of the sudden change of behavior patterns from those who have been involved in various scenarios over the past few years whose goal and main agenda were to cause an outcome to occur that seemed biblical-like or Revelations-style events to have unfolded. Multiple scenarios across the world have been occurring on both small-scale and global-scale events where this type of influence was found to be at the source of each one's cause. In light of this, I have decided to take my channel into a slightly more in-depth direction. Since my prior activities have recently come to light, it should not be a surprise to my viewers that I shall be posting videos on randomized schedule pertaining to intelligence and information gathered on global events that involve antagonist efforts whose goals are to try and bring this Armageddon event about in order to avoid the scenario that has been foretold to occur in the end of days involving the final conflict. By my understanding, the set signs of prophecy for this event to begin taking place is to be in 2029 to 2036, as to being the 7-year reign of the Antichrist, whose time is ushered in by the presence of the star Wormwood and its passing by Earth, which is the asteroid Apophis. So going by that marked date of prophecy, there should not be any of the events that are said to follow in procession to that until then, yet I see sporadic events that seem to others to be without reason or to many to have not made sense as to why the events occurred or unfolded the way they did. I'm remaining vague on the details for now until I can get a clearer image of what I'm facing in this endeavor. So in a summarized statement, most of my foreign global affairs and intelligence will be posted in a regular release of videos here instead of playing the cloak and dagger game from here on for now. So for a brief pilot episode I shall go over current events that have been linked to what I shall call Agenda 67, as it seems both wholly and unwholly associated outlets are being manipulated towards this agenda's goal. This is the current picture scheme. On the position of global powers, China, Russia and North Korea seem to be experiencing extreme inner turmoil as civil unrest continues to destabilize the Chinese and North Korean infrastructure. China faces protesters in Myanmar. Since China is a country governed by the political structure of communism, which can be translated to a more simplified description of a rulership that goes by the expression do as we say not as we do method of approach towards maintaining order. So their response to such activity is brute force. Now do note that in this descriptive relaying of information and events my personal opinions and belief are not relevant in the matters being discussed. Conviction and judgment in my statements I shall attempt to refrain from allowing them to hold any influence over my words. Here in these videos I shall maintain an unbiased perspective that will neither support nor denounce any country's ways or beliefs that govern or hold authority over the people in their borders. It's not really my place to do such things anyways and is a show of bad manners and multicultural social ethics. So with that said, with those countries' leaders under a rising civil conflict, Russia still seems quiet on the surface but slowly boiling beneath as Navalny, the opposition to Russian leader Vladimir Putin position communicates from a secured facility somewhere outside of Moscow. Personally though I can't help but wonder if whether or not this was his intention and goal all along considering the current climate shift disasters that are slowly increasing worldwide. If Navalny were to continue evading Putin, hiding and on the run, then statistically his chances of becoming a victim of the rising disasters and other global concerns such as the pandemic outbreak and other associated hazards said to be on the near horizon, would have been high, possibly almost certain. Here in this secured facility however, he is safe and ensured at least enough food to sustain himself. His location is nowhere near any of the predicted zones to face severe disasters, so one must wonder whether he surrendered himself to Putin on purpose for this reason. On to other matters. The volcanic activity in the Ring of Fire is steadily on the rise as volcanoes along this region are erupting more frequently than ever. Also concerns of Yellowstone and its situation is beginning to concern many geologists as various other geological events continue to mount the pressure building in the caldera beneath the surface. Such as the newly forming fault lines that stretch from Louisiana all the way up to Michigan have developed another fault line connected to it near the region of Michigan all the way across the Canadian border that splinters into multiple stress cracks from the main fault line and leads straight into the magma chamber that is directly below the Yellowstone caldera, causing a fluctuation of pressure and possibly an outlet that could breach the magma chamber with air from the surface, which would lead to an eruption event due to the cooling air temperature of the surface mixing with the pressure cooker atmosphere within the magma chamber. To add to that, the continental Pacific shelf along the subduction zone is increasing its pressure to the Yellowstone caldera as well. This region along the Pacific continental shelf has a lot of concerns as the niche that has snagged the two plates of this zone and keeps the plates from grinding together as they normally have, gradually is wearing away from the building pressure of its interference with their motion. Analysts say that once that niche completely deteriorates, the pressure that has been building for so long is significant enough to expect well over the level of 10.0 earthquakes along the subduction zone, with the epicenter expected to be off the coast of Oregon a few hundred miles from shore and as far as Alaska all the way to South America to be the regions in danger of these magnitude 10 earthquakes. Apart from the tsunami waves that would follow such an event, the concern of the vibrations that will travel from the release of this plate's built-up pressure and echo into the caldera, triggering an eruption event to occur. The percentage of just these two events and their statistical predictions to their causing an eruption level event with the supervolcano is placed at a 74% chance if it were to occur presently. To add concern to this, the region of Death Valley and the Grand Canyon all the way up to the Colorado Mountains has a region which was formed by a volcanic fissure crack formed from a previous eruption of the Yellowstone volcano. The magma chamber that leads to the Yellowstone caldera comes close to the surface near the region of Death Valley and along the trail from Colorado to the Grand Canyon, through volcanic fissure that breached the surface in a series of 9 volcanoes that formed long ago during the early days of the surface's formation and cooling process. These 9 volcanoes I have mentioned in previous videos as the region that held the fortress of the one mentioned in Hebrew texts as the enemy of all the nations of the world whose kingdom lay beyond the valley of shadows in the realm of the dead, the lands of the necromancer lord, Malik. I had thought this region was in the middle of the Pacific Ocean based on Piri Reis's maps, but that position was not plotted by accounting for the movement of the tectonic plates and continental shelf. Going by this new data places the location of his fortress to be in the exact location of the area now known as Superstition Mountain and is the cause behind the supernatural occurrences in this region recorded for hundreds of years, even going back to the Native Americans who state this area has been cursed since long before their people came to the region. For reference on this matter please see the videos titled The Legends of the Archangel Lucifer as the story's main character, Malkiel, is the legend of this region's king and his kingdom's fall into what it is now. This region of Death Valley reports data that suggests the volcanic fissures are coming closer and closer towards breaching the surface due to the pressure building against it from the Pacific subduction zone and is somewhere within a kilometer from the surface currently. This region and its breach of the surface is said to be one of the signs of the Yellowstone caldera imminent eruption, as it is said that all 9 of the volcanoes along that stretch from Colorado will erupt simultaneously and that when it does the next eruption that will follow immediately afterward will be the Yellowstone volcano. Also there are other signs pointing towards this event to be approaching. It is said that strange sea creatures never before seen by those on the surface that dwell deep in the Mariana Trench will be seen all over. Creatures of enormous size and never before seen types will evacuate from the depths to the surface just prior to the supervolcano's eruption due to the changing water temperature down in the deep from the magma ejected from the core of the planet that empties into and fills the chambers of the supervolcano. All over the world there are reports of gigantic sharks and even a 50-feet squid that may be the fabled kraken of ancient legend having been spotted recently, along with possible reports of megalodon sharks also known in Babylonian legend as Dagon, having been spotted as well. The legends say the only way to kill Dagon is with the horn of a unicorn, as it is the natural enemy of Dagon. These mythical creatures are still alive today, known as narwhals. Giant dolphin-like whales with a large horn protruding from their foreheads found near the regions of Alaska. I shall end this episode here as there is a large amount of information here to process, but there is more that I shall release in a soon-to-follow video. And in the words of Walter Cronkite, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Good night.